when you have a sandwich, you have your two pieces of bread and you have your filling. So, it's in our life, we have our morning and we have our evening, and then we have the whole day. So really how you set up your day and how you finish your day really contributes to holding everything together the way that you want it to. So a lot of people just kind of.
Hi, Christina. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hi, nice to see you.
Great to see you. I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I have a lot of questions to ask, but the first one will be, I know you were a yoga instructor for a long time. You told me before, and then now now you're a health coach, and it sounds similar, but I'm sure it's also a lot different. I want to understand like why did you do that? Why did you transform from yoga to health coach? Or you're telling me it's the same. I would love to hear more about that. And of course, then also later on, we'll talk more about how to reduce the stress in our lives. A lot of us know of it, so I'll get also there.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a big difference between a yoga teacher and a health coach. A yoga teacher, we're really going to focus on, movement and stretching and things like that. Um, and so you only really get that amount of time that the students come in for their class, to work with them. And you've got, unless you're doing a private class, you've got a whole room of people. And so with the health coaching, it allows me to work with people one-on-one, and to delve deeper into what are the issues that they're facing, what are their goals, and then really help them devise a plan towards meeting those goals. And the way that I got into health coaching was a couple of things. First of all, I found myself having health issues, which I never expected because of, my lifestyle, not just the yoga, just my whole life, has always been dedicated, about health and prevention and just, like living a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
And when I found myself with these health problems and I was being told that I had, this disease, it just didn't feel right. And, realized that, you do need more support than, just, being in the yoga room. And so, I asked myself at one point, okay, what lights me up? And it's always been when I worked with students and they had this, this transformation, you know, going from somebody who didn't really know themselves very well, who didn't really know why they were in the yoga room to begin with,
Wow.
and just recognizing them every single day, and then slowly watching them, develop and evolve, and then really just show up as a person they were always meant to be. That's what lights me up. And so
Wow.
with the health coaching, it's a transformation.
Wow. That's amazing. And you know what's even more, I'll say, interesting, because I'll think that you come from the yoga world, and you're already like when you say that word yoga, so I have in my head already that you're a really healthy person and that everything is fine. And you're saying that also when you were in yoga, you were a yoga instructor, you still had some health issues you had to deal with. And so it's basically more than just that movement or breathing or whatever it is. And there's a lot more, there's a whole big picture that someone actually needs to address whenever they're having all type of issues, even if they think they're having, I'll say a healthy life. So I appreciate you for bringing that emphasis over there. I'm just interested, like you said you basically help people get from wherever they are to wherever they want to go to. Is that like a combination between the yoga and also the health coach, or is that only the health coach?
The yoga usually, oftentimes, it's something that, that is incorporated because, yoga is really, it's a science of the mind. That's really what it is. And, you know, again, you could be eating everything right. You can be, You can be physically active, you can be, doing all the things, that seem to be nourishing you. But if you don't have the right mindset, then, it really, all those things, they don't count as much as the mindset. Once the mind's in place, everything else just kind of falls into place because you're in alignment.
Wow. Wow. You just said that magical word, mindset.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer, that everything starts in the mind. And so, like you said, you could be doing everything right, but if you don't have that right mindset, nothing will go right. That's why, in the 6 elements of this channel, we speak about mindset first, and then we speak about relationships, sleep, nutrition, movement, financial behavior, all that. But I want to ask a question since you brought up that mindset. It's really easy to say have that right mindset, that gratitude mindset, mindset of how can I, instead of why did this happen to me, like instead of a victim. So they call the victory mindset. It's really easy to say when we're talking here, and
Hmm.
I hope you're having a nice day there. I had a nice day here, but how does someone these days today reduce their stress when there are so many things from the outside that can come and bother us? And I know that there's no saber-tooth tiger running after me, but still, so many things over here that bring stress to our lives. And you just now said, Christina, that even if I eat right, if I sleep, and I might still have that stress. So how do I deal with that, in this era today?
Yeah, well, and that's actually something that I've been actually talking about a lot on my social media is, you do want to create, habits, first of all, that are kind of your foundation. Because, if you don't have a good foundation, then it's really difficult, in the moment to make those changes. So basically, I explain this, when you have a sandwich, you have your two pieces of bread and you have your filling. So, it's in our life, we have our morning and we have our evening, and then we have the whole day. So, really, how you set up your day and how you finish your day really contributes to holding everything together the way that you want it to. So, a lot of people just kind of fall out of bed, they go and brush their teeth, get ready, and then, just, go to work a lot of times in a rush.
Right.
Whereas, you know, if you really establish some sort of routine that sets up your day the way that you want it to the way that you want it to go. So, I always say to people, have a morning routine and then have an evening routine. So basically, like you're saying, okay, you're doing all these things and, okay, how do I want my day to go? That's part of it. And then you determine how you want it. Okay, and then you go about your day. Then at the end of the day, you kind of check in with yourselves. Okay, how did my day go? What did I learn? Who did I help? And how can I improve, the next day? And then also obviously setting yourself up, for a good night's sleep, gratitude, all that stuff. So that's building the foundation.
Got
Now,
it.
there's a lot more, but as far as having that mindset is really, you have to build awareness. And how do you build awareness? Well, you have to again create some kind of, routine. So I always say to people, okay, you know, write down every thought that you're having throughout your day that is preventing you from being the person that you want to be, from showing up the way that you want to be. And then write down, okay, what are the thoughts that you want to be having? And then also write down what are the behaviors, of that person that you want to be. And if you're doing that every single day, you start to become aware of yourself throughout the day. Oh, yeah, there's that thought again that's not congruent with the thoughts I want to fire or the person that I want to be. And if you're writing it down every day, it's right in front of you. So then it forces you, as you're going about your day, as you're having those triggers, to kind of pause and recognize, okay, like I said, this is not in alignment with the person I want to be.
Wow. I really like what you just now said, but I love making things simple. So now I'm a simple person, so let's make it simple. You said building a foundation, And part of that foundation is a morning and evening routine. If I understood correctly, the evening it's a lot of reflection that brings growth. But in the morning, you're saying every morning to take a piece of paper, write down basically who I want to be and the negative thoughts that come up. But that could take hours, number one. So, like, how do you expect people to do that every morning? And number two is there like you said there's a lot more, and I'm sure you could talk for hours and give us amazing value. But in addition to that, are there more rituals that people can do in the morning, like simple ones, not something too complicated?
Yeah, so that thing I was saying about those questions, like, you don't really have to do that in the morning. Actually,
Oh,
when I was going through that, I did that in the evening because it's like a reflection of my day.
mm,
Um, as far as, morning routine, I say to people, wake up. One thing that I really like is, go to yourself in the mirror and just say, like today's going to be a great day, because a lot of people just get up and just, go about their day and they don't even connect with themselves, you know? And so the
yeah,
first thing, if you come out of bed and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, look at yourself in the eyes and say, today's going to be a great day. It's like, oh, hi, I'm here. And
yeah,
then you're also imprinting in your brain, a message that's going to look for, ways to validate that message. And then the other thing is, having some kind of movement, doesn't have to be long. I say to people, if you really struggle with movement, just say every morning I'm going to do 10 squats. And then, for 7 days, and the next week, up it to 15, just to get you started with some kind of movement. Because, we all know that movement is good for our body, it's
for
good for our
sure.
emotions, it's good for dealing with stress. And then, yeah, having some time where you do some kind of breath work or some kind of meditation. And that is a time when you contemplate about, okay, how do I want my day to go? And then giving yourself a little time to sit with your planner or journal and, writing down, what are the things that you need to do that day. Doesn't have to be a lot, 5 minutes, 5 tasks, write down the times that you want to, self-care or take a break, or, include everything. So, that's a morning routine.
Wow, that sounds like a great morning routine. Actually, I also do a lot of these things every morning. Meditate, prayer, movement, meditation.
Yeah.
I do have a question that comes back to the stress management, because stress will come up eventually. How does it help that I have that morning routine and then that evening routine, and that's like you said it's a sandwich, so all of the middle. When stress comes up over there, how does that help me when I do that morning and evening routine, or there's another thing I should do when it comes up during the day?
Oh, definitely. Because like I said, if you don't do something in the morning, all the stress from the day before is still sitting with you. So now in the morning, you spend some time, like I said, moving, you spend some time, breathing, you spend some time, setting up your day, like this is how I want my day to go. So you've already kind of, given yourself a higher tolerance, and you've also, kind of brought down your emotions and all those things, that, like I said, that create that reaction of wanting to be stressed. And then again in the evening, okay, maybe there are some things that, increased your blood pressure and your heart rate and things like that, and just the emotions that are sitting through you, the hormones. Again, you do your nighttime routine, you calm everything down, and it's like you bring everything back to that, that reset.
Nice. I like that. So you're saying that you do at the end of the day, but then you're also saying that in the morning, like instead of just crashing into the day, so giving more time for ourselves, and that would also help throughout the day. I have a question more about the movement part for people that, some are not in great shape. You're just not talking about squats, but are there a few movements? You're also a yoga instructor, so are there a few movements that for beginners are not that hard that they could start doing?
Oh, 100%. It can be, like I said, it just needs to be movement. I mean, if you want to just go and take, a 10-minute walk, that's something great. Or you can do stretching. Something that's really good is just making, like circles with your body, you know, again,
What do you
when we
mean?
feel stress, we hold tension in our body, and we literally are like this. And we tend
Yeah,
to hold all this stress in the front side of our body. We're at our computer, we're bending
right.
forward, we're on our phone, we're bending forward, we're eating, bending forward. So, just doing this thing of, just circling through your joints, doing
Oh,
like 10 circles in each direction,
like
circling your
everything.
shoulders.
Ah,
Yeah,
cool. So also like start, let's say from the neck, shoulders, hands, like just that.
this is
Oh,
such a nice feeling.
wow.
Yeah.
So that's even if you're not in shape, everyone can do that. Like I like that. There are no excuses over there. Like
Yeah.
I always think in my mind like there'll always be someone that says, it's not for me, it's too hard, whatever. So I like that. That is for everyone. Again, if someone has an injury, that's a different story, but I like it. It makes it pretty simple. Uh, we won't go into it now, but I know nutrition has a really important place, really, plays a really important role in our life, and we'll talk about that more another time. But if you could just give us like a small teaser, maybe like why is nutrition so important? We won't talk
Yeah.
about how. We'll talk about that a different time. But I just want I want people to understand why is nutrition so important.
Well, look, I mean, what you put into your body makes up your body. I mean, that's the simplest way to, to put it. So, if you're consuming a lot of, processed foods and a lot of sugar, well, that's going to be what makes up, your organs, your cells, your hair, your skin. Now, do you think that's the best, material to be building those? I think everybody, regardless of, your physical shape and whatnot, physical condition, will agree, no, it's not.
Sure,
So, you want to be putting in those things that you are going to be good building blocks, because those are going to be the things that are, setting the chemical messengers in your body that, serotonin, dopamine, all these things, the things that make us feel good, you know, those are going to be the ones that are, setting off those messengers. Whereas, like I said, the things that are don't have any nutritional value, you put that in your body, what happens? Well, definitely, definitely not the things that you want to
for sure.
happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes, we think that if we exercise a lot, so that could give us like a pass on nutrition and we could eat whatever we want. But you just now said it really simple. Also, if you exercise, also if you don't, whatever ingredients those are, they go into your body. So maybe if someone does the exercise, it can help a little bit. But for sure, nutrition is a really important one, and I would love to talk more about that in a different time. But I do really appreciate all of the great knowledge you give us today, and I always recommend people that never really started a morning ritual or evening ritual. Don't take all of what Christina said and try to do everything, even though everything was amazing, and I appreciate that. But if someone didn't do anything until now, start with, step by step. Take one ritual for the morning, take one small thing for the evening. Don't start for 3 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, even an hour and an hour. It's too much. Most people won't actually be persistent with it. So I really appreciate it. You really gave us great value today. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll talk pretty soon on the next one about the nutrition that I believe it's a really important one. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
I hope you enjoyed the video and you got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. For us to help other people, please press that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that the most amazing things in life are the one you take for granted.